Wow, 2021, what a crazy year it has been. From big events to significant yet smaller ones, let's take a look back to recap and rewind our year together. 2021 has been one of the craziest starts to any year in American history. At the end of our very first week, January 6th, 2021, we saw hundreds of thousands of concerned Americans travel to Washington, D.C., our capital, to have their voices heard.
To peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
They went for a rally to peacefully protest, but a few bad actors allowed the media to spin it into their own insurrection hoax and the launching point of the Biden regime's new domestic war on terror. Our big tech overlords here on YouTube won't really let us discuss what they were there for, but if you're watching, I'm sure you already know. On January 20th, Joe Biden was installed as the 46th president of the United States. It was quite the spectacle to watch the media quickly switch from being the resistance to behaving just shy of state-run propaganda. Chicago, my hometown, canceled their annual January March for Life, at least in its usual form. So this year, we drove all the way to Rockford, Illinois, to attend their first ever Walk for Life. One of my friends even gave her first big speech there, which is really cool to watch. I'll link her YouTube down below. Throughout the month of January, we saw Wall Street Bets, a Reddit account, fight back against the hacks on Wall Street who were making money shorting GameStop and AMC stocks, betting on those businesses failing. Together, they harnessed the power of the people, the populist energy of people who were struggling financially during the pandemic, people who were pissed off at the elite for profiting over a failing economy. Their movement sent those stocks to absurd heights and cost the billionaires on Wall Street millions of dollars. In February, the Uniparty came together to hold the second impeachment trial for now former President Donald J. Trump. This was the first of its kind. Trump labeled it another hoax, and the Senate acquitted him of both charges. The whole thing just served to expose several GOP senators and Congress members of their true hatred of Trump and our movement. In March, of course, we had one of the most influential young conservative commentators move down to Texas from Michigan and build a new studio, just to continue to say that all of his content is imminent instead of actually releasing it. March also saw the start of the supply chain crisis of 2021. A massive ship got stuck in the Suez Canal, containing over $60 billion of consumer products. It also led to a massive backup as other ships could not move through the canal, slowing all their shipments as well. This was just the beginning, as continuing throughout the year, our supply chain never fully recovered, with China slowing its exports as well. Just another example of how globalism is failing the American people. In April, the Derek Chauvin trial concluded after both executive and congressional interference, as well as an angry mob ready to riot if they did not get their way. They undoubtedly pushed their thumbs down on the scales of justice. How can a jury be unbiased when they are fearful for their lives if they come to a verdict that does not match the will of the mob? This isn't the last time we will see these tactics this year. While I was planning the launch of this channel and potentially my very own political organization, the Emperor himself, Vince Dow, told me about his plans to launch the American Populist Union. Needless to say, I was 100% on board. On May 17th, 2021, we launched APU on YouTube, Instagram, and many other platforms too. In June, we relaunched this YouTube channel. I'd say our official launch was technically July 4th, 2020, but that momentum didn't continue. This was the launch of our channel in its current form, focused on discussing culture, politics, tradition, and more. More importantly though, June was the official start of White Boy Summer, an epic movement of the boys being boys, having fun and not being degenerates.
This summer is White Boy Summer, okay? This is White Boy Summer. Why is this? What does it mean? Why are people melting down about it? So many questions.
Reminder, if you don't know, the official anthem of White Boy Summer is Rockin' the Suburbs by Ben Folds. In order of importance to celebrate White Boy Summer, you had to be male, middle class, and white. Controversial? Sure, maybe. But we all know some other boys made it in there too. Let's go! On July 19th, APU hosted our first ever conference, the American Populist Summit. I drove down to Florida from Chicago, and all the boys met up for the first time as an org in a Tampa Bay Airbnb. It was awesome to meet Vince, CJ, David, Badan, and Red Eagle as we prepared for APS, as well as attending TPUSA's Student Action Summit. Once we got in, we met up with all sorts of other great people and got up to some shenanigans. John, Doyle, and I snuck into the VIP lounge while some other guys went to check out the APS venue. Later, we attended an event for congressional candidate Anthony Sabatini, who's an absolute Chad, by the way. Next day, we ran all sorts of errands in preparation for APS. I got to meet Representatives Andy Biggs, Madison Cawthorn, and Senator Rick Scott. We watched Ron DeSantis speak, and we trolled Alex Clark.
Hey, listen, thank you so much for coming to a Turning Point USA conference.
All in a day's work. Lastly, the day of APS, we got to the venue and set up. The time finally came, and we put on the most epic political event of the entire year. Let's go! I got to work alongside the great Elijah Shaffer of Slightly Offensive and You Are Here, while Vince, Kai, David, Rep, and John gave fantastic speeches. Honestly, one of the biggest highlights of my year, and I still hang on to my APS staff badge to this day. In August, we watched the absolute failure of the Biden administration, leaving the war in Afghanistan in the worst way possible. I agreed with the decision to leave. We had been there far too long, but the sloppiness of our exit, leaving people behind, along with millions of dollars of high-end military equipment for the Taliban, will surely tarnish Biden in the history books for years to come. In September, we released 2 videos. We honored the 20th anniversary of September 11th, and we touched upon the consequences of the 20-year war in Afghanistan. We also released What is the Uniparty? The first video on this channel to hit 1,000 views. What a milestone. This channel went on a little bit of a hiatus in October. I had the honor to travel to the Czech Republic as one of the first 3 Americans to participate in their country's Memorial Day ceremony at the Presidential Palace. We also visited the site of where the heroes of Operation Anthropoid made their last stand, and Lidice, the town which the Nazis completely eradicated in retaliation to those Czech nationalists killing a top SS officer. It was a great honor of mine to go to a country of some of my ancestors and honor these brave nationalists who fought for their country while it was under Nazi occupation. In November, we saw underdog Republican candidates overperform in both New Jersey and Virginia. Glenn Youngkin shocked the nation and actually defeated former Governor McAuliffe by 2.7 points, turning Virginia red at the state level for the first time in years. Kyle Rittenhouse was a 16-year-old boy who killed 2 people in self-defense during a riot in Kenosha, Wisconsin, following the death of George Floyd in 2020. His case finally got a trial this year, and he was found not guilty of all charges. Yet again, those in Congress and in the White House pressured the jury on what decision to make. Luckily, this jury was not so easily intimidated. After the case, President Biden said he disagreed with the outcome of the trial, a severe overstep on the part of the president. Kyle is now a free man and is using this attention to speak out about everyone's Second Amendment rights. In this month, we also launched Nationalist November on the channel. I had originally planned for a 3-part series, but the 3rd part was unfortunately postponed because of final exams approaching. Keep an eye out for part 3 in early 2022. December started with the Supreme Court hearing oral arguments for Dobbs v. Jackson, a case which brings into question the legality of Mississippi's heartbeat abortion bill. This case brought massive controversy as it comes with the potential to overturn the precedent set by Roe v. Wade, which established a right to abortion during the first 2 trimesters of a pregnancy nationwide. If the Mississippi law is upheld, it will allow for many other states to take action to protect the lives of unborn babies in their own states. In December, APU also teamed up with Republicans for National Renewal to put on a great event called It's a Wonderful Nation. Our founder, Vince Dow, got to speak at that event alongside many other great patriots, including Paul Gosar and many others. All right, we've gotten through the whole calendar, and now, just to wrap it up, I want to give you guys a little rewind of what happened on our channel this year. This year, here on the channel, we released 10 videos, this being the 10th. We received over 3,000 views within just 7 months of uploading our launch video. And most importantly, we learned a lot. And now I'm very excited to continue to bring you guys content in the year of 2022. We have so many videos planned, and if everything goes smoothly, I'll have a lot more time to work on producing content for you guys next year. We might even unlock camera angle number 2, but we'll see. Now, I'll leave you with a montage of some of the great work done by other creators in our community this year. So until next year, this is Mr. Svez signing off. Happy New Year, boys. We'll see you in 2022.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, let's go! Look, they're changing. Let's go!
People are not interchangeable. The American people are a people. It's not any people. It is these people. We are the American people.
Vince Dow is working for Russia something. Vince Dow is working for Putin. Literally not the case. It's just a Halloween costume.
Literally nothing. Look around. What have we protected? Our families, our communities, our borders, our values, our culture. Have we conserved? Literally anything.
And I am not going to stand for that. I'm not going to live for that. I will not accept that. And like Z said, when we want to unify, I want to unify. He called for blood.
And you just want to have one teeny tiny little white boy summer, and then immediately, nope, shut it down. That's extremism. That's white supremacy. I don't care. It's white boy summer.
It's great to be here at the first ever American Populist Summit. They tried to shut it down, but it didn't happen. Let's go! And just like the city of Tampa, that will be what the conservative movement is when we get rid of a lot of those losers next door.
We're skateboarding, we're causing mischief, we're listening to Blink 182, we're gaming, we're getting yelled at by authority figures, we're punching drywall, we're gaslighting women, we're jumping into lakes, and they hate it because we're having fun, and they are miserable people. It's one last score, boys, one last score before we go to the FEMA camps, one last hurrah, the final meme, and it's both completely unserious and completely serious at the same time, because it's like, yeah, society is coordinating to effectively demonize white men, which we've known for a while, but you know what? Not this summer. This is our summer. And even that they don't like. No, you can't just declare it to be white boy summer. I just did. And now I'm putting on my Sperry's, my pattern cotton button-down shirt, my Club Masters, and I'm going to go climb something that I'm not supposed to be climbing because it's white boy summer.
But I think it's very risky. And the chance that it will be not good, but it will be very bad, is obvious.
All the while pushing this insane, nonsensical doctrine that argues that conservatives can never wield power to actually fix our country because that would be considered big government. Well, here's an idea.
This is where conservatives have failed. They have sat back and watched as men have been discarded. They have offered us no purpose and no solution. They've shipped our jobs overseas and lined their own pockets while doing it. See, the whole purpose of conservatism was to conserve society, but conservatives have failed to give men that task and that purpose. See, once society is built, once our home is built, it now becomes our job as men to preserve and maintain what we have been given, because society will not preserve itself. It'll rot and decay if left unchecked. We still have a job. This is our job.
Don't let people turn patriotism and nationalism into dirty words. To be a patriot, to be a nationalist, is a good thing. And I, for one, am proud of that history, that heritage, and those people.
I have less political power because they're importing a brand new electorate. Why should I sit back and take that?
You currently live in this country, you are affected by it too.
Traditional gender roles, an early form of raw egg nationalism, and of course, war against degenerate sexual behavior. And this is, of course, neo-Gastonism.
John, thoughts on Vince Dow nationalism?
Oh, I mean, I've been campaigning that for the better part of 3 years now.
What if there was a conservative organization that actually put America first? Not the markets first, not the globalists first, but the Americans first. This then is the American Populist Union.
Let's go!